All right, we'll start on Saturday afternoon, a 1:30 p.m. kickoff Eastern time between two of the best teams in the world. Chelsea minus 220 hosting Everton 7-1. The draw here is plus 330. Since Sean Dyche took over at Goodison Park, Everton 3 wins, a draw, and 3 losses. 5 goals scored, 10 allowed. It's just a hilarious split. But their XG numbers are pretty good compared to where they were before Deitch came in. They're around just under 50% in terms of the XG share, 10.6 expected goals created and 11.4 against. We've talked a lot about Chelsea's incoming alleged offensive regression. I think we all believe in it. But I think that this number on Everton is too long, considering that they've just been a different team under Deitch, and they've raised their floor so much that they have a decent chance of turning this match into a bit of a rock fight, a slugfest. And I think that they would fancy themselves in that kind of environment. Also, very little for Chelsea to play for in the Premier League too. So this is the kind of situation I think that Deitch is known for taking advantage of. BJ, what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I don't mind to play on Everton, honestly, in this match. I think that Chelsea, listen, I agree with you. I believe in their offensive regression. I believe in Graham Potter. I believe in the trajectory that Chelsea is going on. But this is something that we've kind of talked about through this run where Chelsea's going up against certain types of teams that I think they can take advantage of. If you look through their matches and you look through teams essentially where they've had to face a low block and break that down. You look at the match against West Ham where they just created a little over 1 expected goal and drew that 1-1. They go to Tottenham and they put in just a horrible offensive performance and couldn't get the ball into the final third. And then even a match, even further back than that, they faced Nottingham Forest and only created less than 1 expected goal against them. So now you're going against an Everton team that, the low block hasn't been as good as we saw in the very first match against Arsenal. Like there's been more space in the middle of the pitch and some teams have exploited that. And Chelsea can definitely do that, but I don't know. I still am very wary of this Chelsea team. It's funny how regression works, right? Because they beat Leicester 3-1. Leicester creates over 2 expected goals and everybody's like, oh my gosh, Chelsea got lucky. Well, that was coming for Chelsea for a very long time. They were very due to get lucky in something like that. So again, Everton away from home has not been good this season. They've still only scored 6 goals, which is not good, or 7 goals. But I do think the low block can be effective here against Chelsea because yes, they are due for offensive regression, but if you're looking how Chelsea's getting these goals, it's basically just all like Enzo Fernandez long balls in up over the back line, which Everton's not going to play some type of very high line for the Chelsea to be able to do that. So I have major concerns about Chelsea's ability to break down Everton's low block. And I only project Chelsea around minus 150. So I actually do like Everton plus 120. I think just Deitch goes and gets a draw here at Stamford Bridge.
Anthony, what do you got?
Yeah, I like the over. 2.5 is plus money. I project this just over 2.5 goals. So anything plus money is good with me on said over. I would actually make this closer to minus 110. I think that I agree with you guys that, Chelsea has improved. They've been playing better. They scored 3 against Leicester. They were able to get out and get in behind a little bit more. And I think Everton, when you look at their numbers under Dyche, you talked about the ultimate end result, which was that they haven't really scored many goals, but they've produced 1.4 expected goals per 90 since Dyche became the manager. And it's been a much more high event approach and style. It hasn't necessarily been like the traditional low block. They've been pushing more numbers forward and been more aggressive than compared to his Burnley teams, where I think some of that is Dyche recognizing he has more talent with this team than he ever did with that Burnley team, and that they're able to play a little bit more expansive. They don't just have to completely shut it down. And as a result, you're seeing more chances created. Now, they have not finished anything for the last 630 minutes since Dyche became the manager. Their goals per match are under 1. But like I said, the chances have been there. And I think that eventually the goals will come for this team. And so I think this is a good over spot here. Chelsea continues to be, due for more positive finishing regression. It's been a really rough, couple of months. And I actually think Everton has some advantages here. Everton's 5th in set piece attack. Chelsea's 13th defensively and XG per set piece allowed. So you can see some weakness in the Chelsea set piece defense. And you even saw that against Leicester, where the Foxes nearly scored off of 1. Everton's 4th worst defense, though, by XGA since Dyche took over. So they haven't really improved defensively. They've just produced more. And that's what's gotten, to what Michael said about them being right around or slightly worse than an average team. It's been the attack that's improved. And since the World Cup, Chelsea's averaged about 2.5 expected goals combined. That's for and against in matches, but they've had only about 1.6 goals per match. So I think this is a little bit short. I mean, think back to early in the season, this total would not have been sitting at 2.5 over plus money. And I think that you're getting a good chance to buy low on both attacks really and bet the over.
Yeah, I think also it's a game that if Everton falls behind, I would back them live to get something out of this one too.
Dominique Calvert-Lewin has been upgraded to questionable.
Well, yeah, I think that Damari Gray's been he's been good in that
Yeah.
role, like since Dyche decided just to
they need an
abandon.
aerial threat to play Dyche's style, like to be really, really effective. So Dominique Calvert-Lewin is obviously huge for them to be able
Well,
to
they
play.
got Tarkowski, they got Michael Keane. These are
they do,
imperious,
but I wasn't talking about
players.
set pieces. I was talking about long balls up the pitch, winning those
No.
goals.
Well, it's funny how
Silva.
he did kind of switch his kind of tone a little bit with how they were trying to get forward with Gray, whereas instead of having someone hold the ball up, he's just having him run onto it. It's working, and then so you have Gray for 60 minutes playing that role, and then Calvert-Lewin hopefully off the bench,
or both of them up top in a 4-4-2. And then that's the dream, Michael.
Yeah. Then we're lookout champions.
Then we're cooking.